What's growing on, everybody? I look a little tired this morning because I woke up at 5 o'clock to do this video, so bear with me on that. But today is 4th of July, and today we're going to be showing you how to grow blueberries. So, blueberries have two problems growing here in Arizona. The first one is the intense heat and direct sunlight. It's okay if they get a little morning sun like this, but besides that, they do not require any sun and should be in a shaded area like this. So, and the second thing is their soil level. So they need acidic soil, and the pH of that is usually about 4. Our soil is alkaline soil, and uh, it tends to be 6.5 to 8.5, and that is a lot higher than that. We measured our soil to see what it was at, and it's at 6. That is still really high, and because of all the wood chips that we've had over the years, so it'll take a while to get like that, but it's still too high. So we're gonna have to add more amendments to it. The type of variety that you want to get is very important because kinds usually they'll just die. So I recommend getting the blueberry southern high bush O'Neill.
This is the O'Neill variety. The southern highbrush family is the type that you want, but anyone in that family would be best.
This one already has blueberries on it. Right here.
Yeah, well, let's zoom in on that actually. So this isn't from our gardening expertise. This is just from Home Depot. So you can see that it's already got blueberries,
Right there.
which is pretty cool. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Push on that, would you, buddy? On the, or hold on. Let's see. Focus isn't very good, but you guys can see that there's a blueberry there.
Yes. Okay. So now my dad is going to help me, but we are going to be planting this blueberry.
So we're going to start with the soil. So everything Google says to lower the alkaline of the soil to make it more acidic is to use peat moss. So we happen to have a big bag of peat moss. We're going to put about half of that bag in that wheelbarrow right there. So go ahead, Jackson.
Up to the bag of this?
Nope, the peat moss.
Okay.
Yep. So peat moss luckily is a very cheap amendment. We don't usually use it, but now that we know that it's really good for lowering the alkalinity of the soil, we'll probably use it a lot more. So let's rip that bag open a little bit and pour that peat moss in. So peat moss has a lot of organic matter because it's all organic matter. And so what it will do is it'll just allow the breakdown of the material to create more of an acid, which will help for the blueberries to lower the amount of acid that we need in the soil, or raise the amount of acid we need in the soil. All right, that's good. That's good. All right, so we'll put that aside. So the next thing that we're going to use is go ahead and pick up the Fox Farm Ocean Forest. So we really like this product. They're not a sponsor of ours, but we really like them. They do a great job. We've had some really good results some of our other plants. I did look up the pH of this particular soil, and it is 6.8. So it's not helping us with our alkalinity problem, but it also is adding a lot of the nutrients that I'm wanting to add to the soil. So we're going to put that whole bag in.
Okay.
So.
Can I get a shovel to open it?
Okay. That's one way to open a bag. All right, let's dump that in. Love the way this stuff looks. Okay, so just so you guys know, I've also read people will use coffee grounds to lower the pH, but coffee grounds also have a neutral pH of 7. Over time, they say they can break it down, but that's not really something that we're wanting. We're wanting the quick results right now. So the next thing, Jackson, you're going to get a couple scoops of our native soil that we have in the pile over there.
Okay.
So they get the shovel, and 1 or 2 scoops of that should be just fine. So our native soil, like we said, is 6. So the peat moss might bring it down to 5 after we mix all this in. So it still won't be quite where we want it. So we've got another additive that we're going to add after we get a couple scoops of native soil. So the next additive is going to be some soil sulfur. So Jackson, why don't you open up the bag of soil sulfur and pour about 1/4 of that bag into the wheelbarrow. So show us the soil sulfur real quick. So soil sulfur will definitely lower the pH. So it even says right on the bag, for acid-loving ornamentals, and on the back it even specifically says blueberries. So open the bag up and pour about 1/4 of it in.
Okay.
Might think that this
That's
is,
what it looks like.
yep, that's what it looks like, just
Yellow.
regular, so yellow old sulfur. So you might think that 1/4 of this bag is too much. We're wanting to drastically reduce the amount of alkalinity in this particular mix.
Okay.
So that should be fine. We can always add more later if it's struggling. So now Jackson, take the
Wait, shouldn't we...
nope.
No?
So take the shovel and mix that up. Kind of make our little brew of soil for the blueberries. All right. So I think that's pretty good. So now I want to show you what we're doing with the hole. So this is where it's going to look a little weird. So everything I've read says that you can only grow blueberries in pots here in Arizona. They will not survive in the ground. Well, I don't want to do that. I want to be a rebel, I guess, and plant them in the ground, right, Jackson?
Yeah, we don't do pots out here.
Yeah, unless it's our dragon fruit trellis. Besides that, yeah.
Besides our dragon fruit.
So what I did is, this is a banding core from my work. That was just used to have a bunch of banding straps. But what I'm hopefully going to do with this is just create a temporary barrier that will kind of force the roots to go down into this soil that we prepared. So Jackson, take a couple scoops and put it down in that.
Okay.
I'll move out of your way. So put it down in the bottom. We dug a little bit deeper here. Okay. One more scoop ought to do it for that. And then kind of flatten it out a little bit. Kind of move it around. And then kind of, yeah, that's perfect. So we got it flat.
Yep.
Now let's get the blueberry bush.
Okay.
Carefully remove this sucker from the pot. It's doing great, so we want to keep as much of the soil that it came with it. So sometimes they come back out. It's a neat little gardener trick is really push on the sides, make it so that it's loose so that it'll come out easier. And then if you feel like you're pulling roots, then you need to stop. And sometimes putting it on its side itself and pushing down hard on it is the best way to really break up the dirt so that it'll pull out much easier. All right, that should be good. Might look like you're stepping on your tree, but it's actually better than pulling too hard on the roots.
Yeah, it could tear the roots off.
So put your hand under it, Jackson, so that it supports it. So that's a pretty good amount of roots. You see how healthy that soil looks? It's obviously doing well. Looks like they've got plenty of cocoa core in there already. So set it down in the middle of that, Jackson. Okay. So this is actually going to be sitting above grade, even though this container looks like it's below grade. It's actually above grade too. So we're going to now fill it and the surrounding dirt around it with the rest of our mixture. And we're going to have it up pretty high because we want it to leach that low alkaline soil in as it waters. Move that bucket for you, buddy. So, poor little elephant's ears probably seen better days after this video, but. All right, so we're gonna pour it all around it. You can even dump it on. It's not gonna hurt anything. And then we'll spread it around. All right, Jackson, so now you're good. Now just move it, spread it all around it. Because this soil is also going to settle, guys, so remember that.
Yes,
so
all soil will settle.
All soil is going to settle, so he's going to get all the way around really good. So we're covering more than just around the little branches, the tree itself or the bush itself. We're covering the area around it, so hopefully it will leach that good nutrients. When it rains, it won't bring in some of the alkaline soil. It'll bring in more of the acidic soil from around it. So then we also, when we dug this up, we dug up the wood chips that were here. So now we're just gonna, with our hand, Jackson, just push the wood chips back around it that you dug out, like over here. That'll help it retain moisture. That's the other thing that we're worried about, it not being in a container, is that the roots might stay wet too long. We always have a problem with trying container plants that we can never get the watering down right, and they always seem to burn up here in Arizona. So that's a struggle for us. So then, Jackson, just really carefully move the wood chips around. I would just do it with your hand. Okay. There you go.
Make sure that the base of the tree isn't covered so the tree can breathe.
Yep. Okay, and then we have one last step. So we're not going to use a lot of this, but Jackson, you want to hold this up?
Yeah.
This is some Happy Frog organic fertilizer. It says on the bottom here, with active soil microbes, but it's for acid-loving plants. So this is a fertilizer. We're just going to take a handful and put it around the base. We're not going to use the whole thing. But this is definitely an acid-loving plant. On the back, it specifically talks about blueberries. So
Smells weird.
Smells weird. So we like the Happy Frog, Fox Farm brands. We think that they're great products, so we like to try them and use them. So we're doing every advantage we can to try to get this sucker to thrive here in Arizona. Just a desiccant bag. Go ahead and sprinkle just with your hand. Just take a handful and sprinkle it around the top, and we'll add this every now and then to try to, that should be plenty, if not too much. That's good. We'll report back and let you guys know how the blueberry in the ground is going. So
Subscribe if you liked the video. We will see you next time. Happy 4th of July.